A little brief about Brahma Kumaris for those who have come for the first time. Brahma Kumaris is a worldwide spiritual organization which is dedicated to personal transformation, and it believes world transformation through self-transformation. It was founded in India in 1937, and from there it has spread to all the continents and more than 140 countries, and has an extensive impact in many sectors as an international NGO. The real commitment of Brahma Kumaris is to help individuals transform their perspective of the world from material to spiritual. It supports the cultivation of a deep collective consciousness of peace and harmony in the society and individual dignity. Also, a little brief about the place that we all are sitting here. This place is called Shanti Sarovar, as most of you would know. The meaning of Shanti Sarovar is oasis of peace. The place is truly known for its peaceful and calm environment that is evidently experienced by one and all who step on this campus. You will be happy to know that this place, Shanti Sarovar, is South India's largest campus of Brahma Kumaris, and it's busy all around the year serving people of different wings: business wing, administrators wing, sports wing, and especially IT wing. Moving ahead with our today's program, you would already know about this series. It's called Refreshing Sunday Evening Talk. This is a weekly program that is conducted on every Sunday from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. With every week, we try to enrich the audience with a new refreshing topic for helping them lead a happy and more prosperous life. For today's evening, we already have our guest speaker amongst us. So we wholeheartedly welcome you to this gathering for taking out time to enrich us with your experiences. I kindly request you to be seated on stage. I request all of you to welcome Dr. R. Raghu Raman with a big round of applause. I would like to take the opportunity to introduce the guest speaker, Dr. R. Raghu Raman. He has completed his MBBS from Kakatiya Medical College, MD in Radiation Oncology. He has come in contact with Brahma Kumaris and become a part of Brahma Kumaris from 2016. He has already completed his foundation course of 7 days. He's a past life regression therapist and trainer. He's also a Theta Healing qualified therapist. He has completed acupuncture preliminary and acupuncture advanced. He has also completed Sujok advanced, auricular therapy, and advanced cupping therapy. There are more accolades to his credit. In brief, he has knowledge of electrohomeopathy and homeopathy, and is serving as a professor and head of department in oncology at Kakatiya Medical College. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for taking out time, sir, today, and I hand over the stage to you to share, to enrich us with your experiences. Thank you.
Living a much more wholesome and, overcoming so many myths, I think, which all of you would have been having about medical system. And again, why this topic? And, for a most refreshing, Sunday, as we put it, after your evening chai, well, I think health is probably the most, disturbing or the most intriguing, or I would say, one of the most difficult subjects to understand, where there's too much of difference of opinion between so many sectors and so many corners, and trying to get the right equilibrium or the right center of it is pretty tough, because let me put it this way. Me being trained from Christian Medical College, I would say one of the best medical institutes in India, have always had an interest in alternative medicine right from my childhood. And I must say, my first practice started when I was in my medical school days, and all my hostel mates used to get my small homeopathy pills, and their life used to change. And with that, there was always this interest. There is something over here. There is something in, beyond what our medical course teaches us. And that is where we come to, the concept of mind, body, soul, mind, body, emotion, or, holistic medicine or holistic healing, as we would say. So we are all here to heal ourselves. So I think this is more of I would put it like a self-help program, a program where all of you would learn more about your bodies and how to integrate the systems together, rather than a monologue or a class where I'm going to teach you something. So let's just. Okay, so when we say holistic, I think there's a huge misconception on holistic and alternative medicine. Okay, see, alternative medicine constitutes those branches of medicine which are so-called non-allopathic, and so you have so many physicians over there who profuse one branch of medicine, and they try to treat all the possible diseases within that particular limitations or within their own circumstances. So the problem with alternative medicines is the lack of scientific evidence, or let us say statistical analysis, and it's highly criticized by the scientific community, which it should not be, because there is so much of essence and so much of truth in what our ancients have taught us and in what they have done. So on the contrary, when we say holistic medicine, it's an integration of what we would call alternate and also what we would come across in our day-to-day situations. And when I mean day-to-day, I mean the whole practical aspects of what we are going to deal with as a person, you and me standing right in front of our office, or in front of our houses, or with our neighbors and all. So when we say ICD-10, okay, now increasingly we have realized that there are so many different aspects to mind and medicine and emotions, and almost now, you would believe it or not, 20% of diseases are now categorized as psychosomatic. In other words, mind body interaction due to the external environment. So that's been a huge progress. So now even allopaths are now turning to what we call as holistic medicine, because this is now the need of the day given the 21st century life that we are living in. So before, I think you must have heard a lot of people talking about, disease is the absence of health and well-being and this and that, and, and they take this. But to be very frank, when you enter your clinic and you see 100 patients, okay, so the first thing you realize is, around 60 to 65% of them, they are, their disease is just due to bad lifestyle. Call it bad diet or whatever, maybe addictions, maybe, the way you live, the way you sleep, and so on and so forth. And when I say lifestyle, it could include hundreds of things. So remember, around 60 to 65, just lifestyle. You're living a wrong lifestyle, and this is why you are falling ill. But this remaining 25% external, as you would call it, is not in our hands. They are either pollutions, accidents, certain other things, emotional outbursts, quarrels, or, things which are truly not in our control. And then when you sum up, why do we fall ill? There is this leftover 10%. This is truly none of our control. And this is, those who have, strong religious and karma, belief, or, who understand Vedas, yes, you can call it genetic or karmic, either of the two. But these are purely beyond our control. And yes, medicine can do only a little bit for them, not too much. And these are like those chronic diseases where people get all of a sudden 45 years going strong and then gets a diagnosis, multiple sclerosis. let's say, or something else. That's the quantification of this is not much overall, but yes, it does exist, and those are like not treatable. So what we can do holistically or alternatively is relatively, less, nevertheless. And then when we look at the remaining, we got a whole 65 plus 20% odd to deal with, where our holistic and alternative medicine healings and all of them play a vital role, or where we can apply them all. So there's always this, when we say holistic healing, why mind, why body, and why soul? Okay. So basically, I would just change that. See, all of us are made up of 5 elements, or the Panchabhutalu, the 5 elements: air, water, earth, wood, and fire. Okay. So all of us are very similar in terms of how we are going to react to external circumstances. So whenever we say holistic, we are going to have to combine these 5 elements of our body into our treatments, and also mind, body, and soul into our treatments. Okay, so why mind, why body, and how soul, and how are these things like actually interrelated with each other? Okay, so see, I mean, whenever we say medicine per se or healing per se, okay, so the most commonest thing which all of us are aware of as individuals is the use of chemicals. In other words, entire allopathy or Ayurveda, or whatever you may say. Okay, so you can heal the body in different ways. When you say holistic healing, there are different ways of healing the body. You can heal the body by giving chemicals. You can heal the body by improving its own internal energy, or by giving it external energy. And thirdly, by correcting the disturbed emotions. And now when you say emotions or other disturbed things, you say they are either corrected by yourself, by a therapist, or by the creator themselves. And that's what we'll be looking into the 7th. So when we say the 7th plane creator, in your next slides, I'll be giving a little brief thing. Theta healing has, originated, let's say, around 20 years ago, and now that's another different way of, healing your own emotions through the medium of the creator. Rather, okay. So see, now this is now let's come back to the the chemical part of it. Okay, everywhere, all over the earth, right? So there's this anecdote which I wanted to tell all of you, and it's like there was one guru who told his students, please go into the forest and get me some useless plants, something just totally useless. So he sent the entire batch out, and all of them came back with a huge bunch of flowers, plants, and whatever in their hand. And there was one student who came back empty-handed. And then Guru ने डांटा उसको, what is this, you lazy fellow, you didn't even go, बाहर गए नहीं, क्या किया आपने? Then he said, Guruji, मैं तो हर जगह ढूंढा, but I didn't find a single herb that is not useless. So there is everything, even in your household, has got some kind of medicinal value, provided you know how to check them out. Now with internet, the resources are immense. Every single herb that you use, every condiment that you use in your house has got medical value. So this is where, when we say chemicals are now, the main, as of now, 90% of treatments in the world, or even 95%, are done by chemicals only, as is illustrated by, the different forms of medicine that we actually use on a day-to-day basis. So this is where we are stuck. We are on the first plane. We have not been able to take ourselves beyond that first plane, and actually holistically or realistically heal ourselves. We are dependent on one chemical, and then to remove the side effect of that one chemical, we use another chemical. So our lives have become, a complete chemical process, one after the other after the other. So at what point of time can we, liberate ourselves or try to help ourselves to come out of the first plane and go into the higher third, the fifth, and the seventh planes as has been created by the Creator for us? Yeah, homeopathic, I'm coming to that. They come under energy medicines. So, if you can see this behind, I have put it as the third plane of energy. So, homeopathic medicines are beyond Avogadro's number. Whenever you take any chemical and you potentize it or dilute it beyond 10 to the power of minus 23, none of the original molecule is left behind. But the beauty of nature is that it retains its energy nature and not the chemical nature. So it is still able to affect the body without a chemical per se. So homeopathy becomes an energy medicine. It is no longer a chemical medicine. So that's why I put this specifically. Whenever you use energy to heal, homeopathy is pure energy. So when I'm coming to my next few slides, I'll explain it to you. And since you've especially mentioned homeopathy as a example of energy, so homeopathy is based on what is known as a vital force. Each one of us, the younger we are, the more powerful our vital forces. And vital force and soul and other things are totally different. Vital force is purely the energy that a person has, the equivalent of Chinese acupuncture. It's called Qi. C-H-I, Qi. So the Qi that you have inside you is your vital force. Your vital force gives you the energy to fight against diseases, and your homeopathy, similamba curatum, as they say, like cures like. So that drug acts on your body and stimulates your vital force in so many ways unknown. There are so many so much of literature published in British homeopathy. We still don't know how it works. To be very frank, lot of literature, but it's so nascent. I think it's 25th century medicine. That's what I would call it. We don't know how it works. But it's just that you're using your own energy to stimulate your own energy, to correct your own energy by the people of the democracy of the body, this energy as you could have, taken it. So I put that as, I'm just putting the major energy medicines. So you have to distinguish the three. Are you taking a chemical? Are you working on energy or emotions? And are you, so this is the broad distinction. By now, I think you would have understand where we are leading and where we are going to. So are we going to deal with chemicals? Are we going to deal with energy? Or are we going to deal with other things or higher planes, as we may call it? Okay. So now, when we say energy, okay, there is Reiki healing, there's pranic healing. There are so many methods to use your internal energy or external energy. There's no drug or any chemical involved in that. Okay. So when we say acupuncture, which I've been practicing from the last 3 years or so, so it's it's one of the most simplest things to practice. And let me put it this way: every one of you sitting here in this audience can actually become an acupuncturist with just a 6 months or a 1 year training. And that's a fact, because the concept of acupuncture as we have in the Chinese traditional system is extremely complicated with 360 channels. So it took some time, and our Indians, there was one Sri Lankan who came to India, Anthony, and then he developed what is known as now what we call as the Indian traditional elemental type of acupuncture. Only 60 points, you just have to remember 60. That's not very difficult. And the beauty of Indian elemental acupuncture is that all the points are from the elbow to the tip of the finger on both sides, and from the knee till the tip of the toes. So very important, because these are the most highly accessible points and they can be easily punctured. And more importantly, you need not expose any of the clothes, and the privacy and other things do not become an issue. So everyone over here, in fact, most of the things which I am explaining are some things which all of you can actually undergo courses, train yourselves, and actually become your own doctors. So as we unroll, okay. So as I already said, energy medicine, and key is all of us have key, and when you fall ill, your key comes down automatically. So sometimes even your acupuncture does not work. You have to take chemicals at that point of time, because your key is so weak. So there is a balance. You have to. It's not everything is treatable. Just increase the energy, or when key or life force is weak, even homeopathy is not going to work. Okay, so it's based on there are only 12 meridians. It's very easy. It's called a pulse based diagnosis, which we do. You just have to examine the right handed pulse and the left handed, and there are only 12 pulses which you have to master, which correspond to 12 meridians. And what we do is we just balance the meridians by balancing the 5 elements. I'll just show you in the subsequent slides how it is ever so easy. If one element is imbalanced, we have what is known as a mother element and a daughter element and a controlling element. If one element is in excess, you just control it by its control. Let's say fire is in excess, you control it with water, and so on and so forth. So let's not go into the philosophy of it, but it's so easy to understand and implement. That's all I can say. I think everyone and anyone out here with a little patience can learn acupuncture, and this is a very beautiful form of medicine which can treat around 80% of your most common disorders. But again, I have always a word of caution. Being an oncologist, I always feel that cancer is one very different disease. Having spent 20 whole years in oncology, and no alternative medicine per se till now has shown any kind of real effect on cancer. So whenever all of you visit any alternative medicine physician or anyone, please beware of that. It can be used, and I use it myself, to treat side effects of cancer, but not cancer per se. So I want just that word of caution. No medicine as such. Even chemicals also, it's like, yes, you can, but they have limited. Maybe Ayurvedic, they do have, but it's all a plus and minus, and we don't have sufficient proof about it all. So I would only say one thing. You have any relative, anyone, ask them to continue with their routine radiotherapy, chemotherapy, surgery, and take this as an adjunct for better, treatment of side effects and other things. Okay, so very easy to learn, and all you have to do is master 5 elements, and most of the time you have only one elemental disorder or 2, and stimulating just 2 or 3 points is more than enough, and most of the time the meridians yin and yang get balanced, and most of your disorders, whether it's back pain or whether it is upper respiratory, lower respiratory disorders, you name it, majority of the time they normalize just with simple prick of a needle in 2 or 3 different places. Okay, and this is like what sir was mentioning, which we come back to. Okay, so there is a lot of myths on homeopathy. People used to always say, hey man, what's this? What are you giving us? It contains steroids. Okay, it's very simple. Homeopathy is derived from plant, mineral, and animals. Snake venoms, and so many, and so on and so forth. I think many of you might already have a lot of experience in that. It's very simple. These medicines are taken, they're just diluted, and then we put alcohol in them and as a diluent, and then you dilute it 1:10, and then again 1:10. So by the time you have done 1:10, or let us say 1:100, 23 times, there is no original molecule left over. The molecule has practically diluted itself to such an extent, and it has disappeared. But there is something known as the molecules. I don't know whether you are aware, resomers as we call it, chemical isomers and resomers. Okay, so it retains its memory or its energy, and let us say quinine, the first drug, which it causes a fever like a malaria. So since it's retained its energy, it's able to cure a fever which is similar to a malaria with fever. So that is how homeopathy as a science works. I think India is the largest homeopathy consumer in the entire world. Today, it's not Germany where it originated, it's not US, it's India. And I would say the cheapest drugs in the world are homeopathy, and the cheapest country which produces them again is India. So here we have a very, and there are around 400 to 500 medicines as of now in homeopathy. And I would say here again, if used well, used properly, including mental disorders, physical and everything, here again, around that 80% which we were saying, environmental plus lifestyle, we could certainly tackle quite a number of those disorders if you use them in the proper way and combine them with others. Now, having gone beyond energy, see, Reiki involves a lot of training, so is pranic healing and all the others. And then again, see, I really do not recommend, or I would say yes, if you have a Reiki grandmaster or someone who's willing to treat you, please go ahead. But then I wouldn't recommend that, because most of the time in these energy healings, the therapist has to use their own energy and induce them, or reflect them onto the person. So that's pretty, the person gets exhausted, so they have to do repeated exercises, repeated meditations, and repeated so it's very tough. So as a Reiki healer, but yes, it exists, it still does, it still happens, and it's existing, and that's another form of energy healing which I think all of you should know. Yes. Okay, now comes now whenever we say now we are heading towards the so-called what can I say, holistic path. Okay, little do we realize, and emotions are one of our major causes for diseases. We did not realize it, and as of now there are lots of literature, that's like I said, ICD-10. Now there's so many diseases which were previously called allergic, asthma, psoriasis. There is a huge list, and they are now considered psychosomatic, which means that it is the mind or the disturbed emotion which has caused the disease, and not the disease or the end organ per se. Okay, so now this is now again, nobody tells you what stress, why. Everybody says you have to reduce your stress, man, you got to be, you have to stay calm, you have to do this, you have to do that. Understood. Every newspaper, every Sunday you will have an article in one corner saying the same thing, but believe me, how? That's the whole question. How? It's so easy to say do this, do that, you will be better, but it doesn't. So it is these questions, we really don't know how to do it. How do you let go? How do you not self-criticize? How do you not self-love? Because these are the real reasons, as to why we are losing out on emotions, why stress is getting the best. And stress is such a huge terminology, right? So when I say, stress, I straight away want to go into the next, this one. Okay, this is one of the most beautiful slides. I think all of you just look at it. I don't want to do it for too long, but just look at the way emotion can damage the body so much. Okay, and I'm sure these are diseases which all of us suffer on a day-to-day basis. Okay, this is the direct link between disturbed emotions. Okay, now when we say we are suffering so much of stress, can you do a retrospective analysis? Go back and see which disease, what is a problem, what's a physical problem that you're getting. At least that's going to help you to know, among the stress factors which you have in life, which one is, what's exactly, are you facing anger issues? Are you facing shame issues? Are you facing, dishonor issues? Or are you facing, insecurity issues? So it's so important. When you say stress is such a huge word with such a huge, look at this. So it's like this whole, few things are self-explanatory. In fact, I'll tell you, I had so many breast cancer patients who used to come because their husbands had died and they were over-mothering their children. And they also felt, what's the meaning left in life and the despair in their life. And they developed breast cancers. And finally, we had to. So it's, this is a very deep-rooted and it's like highly realistic thing, as you can see. So instead of taking the photos, I just suggest, please buy this book. Just order it online. This will be your first guide to learning and understanding how your emotions, can affect your health so profoundly, and how, you need to address your own inner self-love, your own, problems, and you don't generalize it and say stress hai, ye hai, family aisa kar raha hai, this is, it doesn't work out like that. So it's a stepwise pattern, and here at Brahma Kumaris we do the best possible meditation and the best possible, emotional management and emotional control and so on. And so, okay, that's again one part where, we get beautiful guidance by coming and sitting here for the meditative sessions. But beyond that, you need to understand where exactly is the problem. Stress is a very wide word. Please split it down into your own individual problem. So this I would recommend. Just buy this, read it a little, and so now when we say disturbed emotions are causing so many problems, okay, how many of you are able to get rid of your own emotions on your own? I don't think many of you will be able to, because we'll keep ruminating over the same problems, keep thinking about them back and forth, and not be able to do everything. So this is one more beautiful what I qualified in and what we do. It's called Theta Healing, and in Theta Healing what we actually do is a 4-step process. So first is to find out what is your emotional problem, dig deep into the emotional problem that you have, and find the counter intelligence or the counter problem to what. Suppose you are facing an anger issue, so you need to do this affirmation saying that yes, I'm a calm person, I am always cool and nothing affects me, and so on and so forth. So when we get the counter intelligence or the counter problem, making you acknowledge it is the first step. Then now it's acknowledging is just a word. Okay, now it has to go sink deep inside into the soul. It's not just a word. So what we do in that process is we take the we go to the 7th creator's plane, the 7th plane or the creator's plane, and then we suggest to the creator that this problem of anger may be taken away and it may be replaced with peace and calm. And this is done with the patient in a quiet meditative state on a one-on-one, and with that the person's emotions change. And when the emotions change with the help of the creator, so this is not something that I am doing, but I am requesting creator to change your emotional state or your emotional well-being. And then with the emotional change that is going to happen, or the belief or the change that you are going to perceive, your automatic physical problem is going to change. Okay, so who's going to change? Well, and just for a minute I wanted to change your mood. So which great soul once said that you have to bring your own change, don't expect others? And I don't know whether any of you would have the answer, but yeah, beautiful. That was Basavappa, the bus conductor. So, but anyway, ultimately, so this change, whether it comes from yourself internally or from the externally, from the physician or from the creator, you must understand that emotions are bombarding us in this 21st century, and at some point of time the holistic part comes over there. There are many other ways to change remedies. There are backflower remedies which modify your mind and emotions. There are so many other things which you can do. I don't think we have time for all that, so I need to go a little bit fast. And of course I did not present one thing on past life regression, which comes under energy medicine. We are able to take people into their past lives through hypnotic trances, and these are extremely good for curing phobias, for curing or rather understanding emotional problems between maybe spouses, friends, parents, siblings, or God knows what, which is creating immense problem in our life. And once we have understood why that karmic relationship between them and us, and exactly why is this unexplainable, why am I so angry, why is this animosity, or rather why this great love between us. So past life regression can, in a hypnotic trance, can very easily, if you are receptive and if you are a meditator, and I think most BK meditators will be able to do it perfectly with finesse, because it requires one adaptability, reception, and a little bit of past meditation. If you have these three qualities in you, you can easily get your theme by theme, one at a time. You can go into your past lives and you can actually trace them out and find out what is the problem, the basic emotion, what's causing it, and then with that you tackle at least some root of it and try to come out of it. But past life regression doesn't come very much as a therapeutic modality, it comes more as a spiritual modality of this one. So now I think, man, it's like the ancients do it all and the modern people get credit for it. So these three got the Nobel Prize for discovering what was the age-old organ clock. All of you should please don't take a photo, you'll get it online. Okay, it's so important. We now live in this modern world where there's no waking time, there's no sleeping time, there's nothing called time, and the light bulb is on 24 hours. So just look at it this ever so carefully. Do you have a laser on this? Okay, so see, when are you supposed to wake up and when are you actually waking up? Okay, the large intestine time is the time when you're supposed to empty your bowels. This lung time is the time when you're actually supposed to wake up and meditate and do your exercise. No, I don't know how many of us are able to do it at all. Our lifestyles don't support it. Okay. Then when are we supposed to eat our actual breakfast and when are we actually eating it? Okay, so many of you might be businessmen and then you sleep at 2 o'clock. How on earth can I follow this clock? But then this is the hypothalamic pituitary pineal axis, which is a universal truth. Okay, going forward, see, you have to eat during the stomach time and it will get beautifully digested during the spleen time. Right? Then again, this is another beautiful time to eat where the fire element is high, noon, and then the small intestine digests it all. How many of us actually eat our major meals between 7 a.m. to 2 p.m.? I don't know you have to judge it. And how many of us get the time to eat our 2 major meals during that time? Okay, what happens if you did not get your meal? Okay, bladder is for excretion and kidneys for excretion. Now you start eating when you're supposed to be unloading, or so that's the time when it's not going to digest. Your body is strong at that time for elimination, and here you are now. मेरा 4 बजे तक meeting था. I had a board meeting. Okay, God bless you then, but your kidney will not. So your kidney doesn't work properly, your digestion doesn't work properly, and then starts the whole list of problems, one after the other. So now let's see, leave energy, leave your whole lifestyle. That 65% of disease, as we call it, sucks. So without correcting this, how are you going to? And then look at this. Then again comes the beautiful supper time and dinner time, as we would call. Again, it's fire. Fire is for burning the fuel that you eat. Okay. And then now this is the time, 11 o'clock, when you're supposed to be. No, but this is the time when we are partying. Okay. So now you party at 11 when your gallbladder and your liver is supposed to be detoxifying your body. See, once in a month party, there's moderation in everything. But look at normal lifestyle. You are eating at 11 o'clock because आप दुकान 11 बजे बंद करते हैं, तो मुझे रात को 1 बजे खाना पड़ता है. So fine, then your liver will punish you. There's no mercy. The body doesn't show mercy. It's got its own cycle and its own way to follow. So this, I think, if everyone follows this circadian rhythm, as you would call it, I think around 40 to 50% of that, 65% of diseases, okay, forget addictions, forget other things, your problems will actually get sorted out if you can follow this body clock. because this was not invented by us. It was created by God, and this 24-hour cycle of the earth, moon revolving, and the earth's rotation. It was not something that we made. It came, it was always there, and it will always exist. Okay, and that's how it is. So when we say when emotions can affect the body, why can the body also affect the body itself, right? So that's why I put this. Okay, so everything has got a cross connection. So when we say in alternative medicine or whatever, so this is what we do now. I think this is something very पुराने ज़माने में when I'm not talking about our punishment देना है तो what would they say? कान पकड़ो. Okay, so the punishment would be this. Okay, and look at that very carefully. It's not a cruel punishment. Okay, if you look at this very carefully, this place, this earlobe, okay, that corresponds to the brain. So autistic children are recommended to hold the ears and do the exercise. This punishment is actually for those dull heads who are unable to concentrate. So what does holding your ears and do? It actually helps you concentrate. It actually helps you stimulate your brain and make it sharper. But किसको पता था? And then you have teachers पकड़ के कान मरोड़ते हैं. Okay, now that's dangerous. Let me tell you that. The body connection, as I said, अगर brain को इतना अच्छा connection है, बाकी का body का connection तो इधर है ना, then now you are twisting that ear as a punishment, and then घर को आके बोलेगा मेरा पेट दर्द हो रहा है. You do any number of scannings or anything you want, you are not going to get anything. Why? You did reflexology. You stimulated the reflex here and you felt the effect here. So that same punishment can be a therapeutic effect also. So this whole ear that we have, right, it resembles an embryo. Okay, it resembles an embryo. So inverted embryo. As you can see, the brain is there, the spine, everything. So this ear of yours is a powerhouse of therapeutic. Okay, auricular is such an easy thing to do. You just have to, there are of course maybe around 200 points and all, and takes maybe a little time. Here again, this is what I want to tell. All of you can be doctors. If you actually if you get to do auricular, you can be your own doctor. You don't have to depend on physicians, chemicals, and so on and so forth. So this is see, that's what I said. For everything, you need some modern science guy to come and prove it. So auricular always existed, and in fact acupuncture originated in China, and Bodhidharma took it to China, from India. It originated in India, but see, look at it now. You have to have a French person who has done the electrical stimulation in one place and then felt the electrical stimulation or the end organ at another place, and then he is the one who has to establish that there is a reflexology which exists between the ears and every end organ in the body, including the brain, everything. So what, this is again another very beautiful method to treat just like acupuncture, and you can call it it's same, it's based on energy. You're not using any chemical. Okay, and then this is another extension, reflexology, as we say. Okay, no, it's so profound, right? This the ear can represent the whole body. Such a small, tiny, teeny-weeny organ. Similarly, this hand can express the entire body. Okay, take it individual finger, right? An individual finger can express the whole body, right, from top to bottom, as you can see over here, right? So what we can do is we use a probe, gently find the tender area. Obviously, 99% that tender area will correspond to the diseased area. Right, so you can use a finger, or you could use the entire palm or the foot, but generally foot is uncomfortable to work on, so we generally work on the palm. So you can say the whole hand is represented, the whole body is represented in the palm, and this is so pretty easy. You know where the area is. Please run your probe little gently and you'll find that area. Either you poke in a needle, put in a biological seed, biological fresh seed over there, or place magnets. And that's the essence of sujok. Then when you go to advanced, you can use crystals and so on and so forth. But these are beautiful methods to heal. If you have a headache, I'll give you a simple example. This top part is the head. Just press this. Whether you have a migraine, just press it. Ask two people to press your. Don't take a tablet. दोनों को बोलो press करने के लिए. One person will press the tip of this finger, another one. You can press any of the finger because they're all identical as far as sujok is concerned. And believe me, in 10 minutes, your headache will vanish. You will not need a tablet. Similar, you can use this whole. This is one leg. This is one leg. This is one hand. This is right hand. This is left hand. And that's it. This is your bladder. This is your rectum. And you just use these points and miraculously your piles trouble. So another beautiful form of energy healing, which you all can use to normalize your lives and learn it yourself. You don't even need to go to the doctor for this. Okay. Then, of course, comes, there's a third therapy which I did not tell you in that. That's physical therapy. That includes physiotherapy. It includes exercise. It includes so many of the other things which are not. But in that, this is one very important thing I want to tell you. This hijma is a very ancient Unani technique, which now we do. It's called dry cupping. So we use cups with excellent for musculoskeletal disorders, sciaticas, tendons, inflamed tendons, and so many other things, back pains. And one of the reasons why hijma became famous was due to Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimming, champion. He was the one who used to use it for his sore muscles, and then from then it became very famous. So cupping is another thing which is used for all superficial disorders in the most beautiful way. The only side effect you get is this so-called bruise over here, which disappears in around 5 days. कोई लगेगा मारा क्या किसी ने तुमको? नहीं किसी ने नहीं मारा, मैंने cupping किया है, and it disappears harmlessly. There's something known as wet cupping. You can also cut that area into a little bit and a little blood will come out, but we don't recommend that. That's only for extreme disorders. Okay, just the way which is the best massage you've ever felt? Is it a whole body Ayurvedic massage or a foot massage? I'm sure it has to be a foot one. Okay, this is going to put you to sleep instantly. See, again, foot reflexology is also something which you all can do on your own. Help yourself method. When you have a headache, please look at all the areas, and there are representations. Either you do a sujok on your own or a foot reflexology on your own. In so many ways, you avoid chemicals now and you treat yourself. So, okay, now this is a very abstract thing. I was just wondering whether I should really present it to you all. But it's one of my favorites because I've been an astrologer right from my childhood, and I'm not recommending astrology at all. So okay, I'm just putting it this way. Each house, if based on your ascendant, your lagna has got a particular representative area, and each planet represents one particular organ. And believe me, none of our planets can be that perfect where everything fits into place. Okay, and everything is, yes, some people do have it. They do live long and healthy, and no, but this is just a clue. It's a diagnostic tool for us to tell you which of your organs are going to get damaged, which likely, and at what age. And then again, it's all about what can I say? It's about not about making you do prayers or this or wearing stones, right? But let me put it this simplistically. You know that your kidneys are weak right from the time, and so you need to take care of your hydration. You know that your heart is weak, so you got to take care of your cholesterols and others. So based on this, it's all about predictions, and as one would come to later on, each planet has got a particular, let's say Jupiter is haldi, it's about turmeric. So you use turmeric in your remedies, and that yellow color. Let's say Shani, if your Saturn is disrupted and that's why you're having a disease, so you do the oil bath and the fasting, maybe let's say on Saturdays. So medical astrology is also another branch which can be used correspondingly, adjunctly, I would put that word, to all the other therapeutic methods. So finally, when we say holistic healing, it's not the doctor's responsibility to keep you healthy, right? Those Chinese foot doctors, okay, they were paid only when the person was healthy. जिस दिन patient बीमार हो जाए उनका तनख्वाह रुक जाता था. Okay, so whenever we say holistic medicine or holistic healing, it is your responsibility. It is for you to recognize that emotions are part of my problem. It is for you to recognize your problems appropriately and seek intervention. Seek alternative medicine interventions, but do know the limitations of those interventions. Remember, no branch of medicine is perfect. It is always the person who knows all of them will be able to judge well. So you need to know, try for some time, and if it is not working, that's why I say, please don't shy away from surgery if it is required. The most typical example is my father. From 10 years, I'm telling him, get your knee replacement done. And he's an aeronautics engineer. And both of his ligaments in his knee got torn. And then he's saying, no, I'm trying this, I'm trying that. It's working, I feel better. Well, I told it's just basic, simple mathematics, simple mechanics, right? If your sail cannot go up, it's not going to catch wind. And if your ligaments are not there, obviously it cannot. So do not get prejudiced, okay? Keep an open mind. Every branch of medicine has its role. Integration is the key. Integration of chemicals, integration of energies, integration of emotions, integration of spirituality. The day you learn to integrate everything, and the day you learn to do some amount of self-healing, both in terms of emotional recognition and in terms of these simple things like Sujok, that day you would have realized your goal of holistic healing. And that's what I mean, healing yourself by yourself, of yourself. So once that is done, you are yourself a holistic healer. Well, of course, people like here are all there to help you and all. But the idea of this thing was to tell you that your health is actually in your hands. This is how you recognize it, how you change your lifestyles, and all those previous slides that we saw. Integrate it into your lives. And that 10%, it's not in our hands. Those are genetic disorders, and that will take its own natural sweet course. So having said this, I conclude the session and open to take any kind of doubts that all of you have. Thank you.
Having heard all these things, I'm sure many of your questions are already vanished. Yeah, because it is integrating last concluding.
You mean they're
statement.
self-healed?
Yeah.
In other words,
you're master of your own emotions, your own body, your own health. Everything is in your own hands, and everything is in your own mind and emotions, feelings and thoughts. So, is there any questions for anyone?
Okay. Most of the IT world, people sit in a 5 to 7 or like the 9-hour jobs, and the sitting posture goes wrong. So what is your suggesting for the definitely sitting posture should be right, but even though if you're sitting continuously for 8 or 9 hours, can't continue.
This is partly occupational, so the common sense is you're going to get up and move around and all that. Okay, now that is just common sense.
If someone
but now if you, certainly this could get slipped, and in this process you will get sciatica, you can get lumbago, you can get a number of musculoskeletal disorders. Okay, in these conditions, yes, now you have to do a little bit of exercise and physiotherapy, but cupping will help you the most. Okay, when you do cupping and then combine it with the auricular, because the auricular points are very clearly your spine, and a little bit of homeopathy here and there, and presto, your present episode is gone. You will come back to normal. But remember, if you continue to sit that way and continue to not exercise or strengthen your back muscles, 6 months or 1 year down the line, you're going to come back to that same problem. Then maybe we can repeat that problem, but you mustn't. That's occupational, ergonomic. So yes, there is a solution to it. We can do cupping, we can do the auricular, and you'll come back to normal. A little homeopathy here and there. You don't even have to take, any paracetamol. You don't even have to take any ibuprofen. You don't have to take anything. It'll come down. But go back to the root cause. Then again, understand whether low back pain. Are you having disturbance of physical help? Okay. Because back pain is also complex, right? Do you have a lack of emotional support? Do you have a lack of physical support? Most women at home, housewives, have lower back pain. Okay, part of it is because they have a lack of physical support. It's not because of the hard work. It's always, मैं ही काम कर रहा हूँ गधे की तरह हमेशा, कोई मेरा कुछ मदद नहीं करता. Part of it, it just comes directly and reflects. And you check the back, you do an MRI, it'll be normal. It'll be totally normal. So, there's such a interdependence between, check everything, right? Nothing, there is no singular answer to any question. It's multifactorial. That's all I'll say. If you're still continuing to get back pain despite everything, maybe in your office, there's something wrong, or maybe at home, maybe you really have a lack of physical support or emotional support. So look at that's why I said, read, all of you buy that one book, that Louis Hay book. I think all of you should buy, keep it with you. I mean, you don't have to read it every day or memorize it, but whenever you do, reflect for some time. 2 बार हो गया, अभी तीसरा बार क्यों आ रहा है? Why is the same problem repeating? You might get your answer there for the repetitive cause. Yeah.
Regarding homeopathic medicine, so I have tried also. I came to know that initially it will aggravate the symptoms. So for skin problems, if we take it, the symptoms got worse. So can you please comment on that?
Yeah, see, that's a wonderful question. There are 2-3 different things that happen. Once when you take homeopathy, yes, please add. I'll answer it together.
Psoriasis and certain things, they get aggravated.
Yes,
so I
yes.
would like to just add that.
Yes, indeed. I'm coming to that. Okay. Now there are 2-3 different things which happen when you take a homeopathy. जो पुरानी बीमारियां जो एक ज़माने में चले गए, they completely disappeared. They resurface. That's one thing that happens. ठीक है. 2, depending on your vital force, how powerful it is and how sensitive you are, you get what is known as homeopathic aggravation. मतलब कि like cures like, सही remedy मिला, सही तो दिए. The potency also may be low, okay, but your vital force is so damn strong. So what happens is, it's the right remedy. Remember, if you get an aggravation, it's the right remedy. That's one very positive thing. So whatever you have, the skin or whatever disorder you may have, it aggravates a little, tone down the potency a little bit, or take a little camphor or something or antidote it. Then there's a third thing that happens. You prove the remedy. समझो कि it's like you don't have a symptom at all. You don't have any throat pain, but you're taking some mercury or something like that. Suddenly you start getting a throat pain. So what are you doing there? You're proving the remedy. So that's a side effect of homeopathy. People say you don't get side effect, but you have to be careful. You can get side effect. Homeopathic aggravations, I totally agree. Those happen, and all you have to do is just tone down the potency or just space it out. Instead of twice daily, make it once, or if it's not, or once weekly, or once in 3 days. That's all. Aggravation is good. Aggravation is good. If you have an aggravation, it means it's working.
Also, doctor, I have a question for phobias. So how would you distinguish what kind of therapy should be given to different kinds of phobias?
Okay. See, when you say phobias, remember that it's again purely mentally related. Okay. So certainly if you can get the right kind of phobia, there are both back flower remedies, there are homeopathy, and that works. Okay. Given that situation, acupuncture and other therapies are not very good at mental disorders. That I can tell you. Is this balance of yin and yang, mostly as we have learnt it, and this element, it doesn't work very well for mental disorders. So whenever you say phobias, you have to treat it with either homeopathy or this one, or alternatively, one single past life regression can help. And even if that does not work, then any hypnotic trance and reliving the the phobia, what exactly it is, or it's as we call it in psychiatry, it's called bombarding. So you bombard them with that same thing again and again, and a little bit of psychotherapy will help, but majority of all these other ones which are not going to help for phobias. Phobia is something which may come either from the past life or maybe from the present life itself. So it's a little difficult to treat phobias, but chemicals, yes, SSRIs, they'll work for sure. Allopathy will work for sure for phobias, but again, see, you want to get to the root cause, not just treat it temporarily. So if you have taken your SSRIs temporarily, now you have to work retrospectively backwards. Why did the phobia come or go?
So I have something related here, like not really phobia, but sometimes like when the problem is not related to physical, you can't explain the behavior, and it specifically it comes in the children. So how can we treat that?
Can you just elaborate a bit? Because children are very, it's very different because many children can't themselves express what exactly it is. So I want you to be a bit more specific because children's disorders is like very huge area. But what exactly are you trying to?
So primarily kind of the issues with the behaviors, like when they can't contain themselves or they don't know how to react in certain situations, even they are repetitively explained and they understand the repercussions very well, that it's not safe for them, but still they are not able to contain or react in a safe or normal manner.
Okay. Now, what you are trying to say is these are part of growing up. Okay. We cannot really, even if you give a homeopathy or anything like that, you need to understand that behavioral and patterns are mainly based on how we train them in the family and the emotions surrounding them. So Louis Hay's book might be able to help you more than anything else. Trace out as to why is the child behaving like that and what is the environment that is causing that kind of disturbed behavior. I don't think there's no alternative medicine for that. It's just because small children are like young fresh buds. You pour water, they will give you that kind of a flower. So childhood diseases, yes, homeopathy I would still say is very, very effective. Their vital forces are extremely small. Even if you want to do acupuncture, we don't poke with a needle. We just take a ballpoint pen and then just touch it here and there and they get better. So the disorders, the growing up disorders that you're talking about are probably, those are probably related to the environment of the house. Yes, clear-cut things like autism and this one, yes, we have to now look at it from a different angle and then, behavioral therapy along with that proper emotional support for the child and then, like I said, we can use auricular and so many other things. But what you're talking about is probably a day-to-day problem which I think everyone faces, all children face. Am I right with that or do you? Because see, your question has to be very specific. Then you get a specific answer. You're talking about general behavioral problems of children. So it's a very broad topic, right? What can you do about it? So each person's problem is like completely different. See, treating the body is one thing, treating the mind is one thing, and treating behavior and emotions is a totally different thing. That's what.
Maybe the sister who is asking the question, you can get the answer, like specification of the question is very important. So you can have personal chat. We'll let you know when you can meet the doctor. Sometime in Sunday evening talk we'll announce. So you can meet him personally, then you can. Yeah, that would be
sure.
good.
Every Sunday I will be here in the mornings.
We will announce.
You can always. I don't think that's we can resolve the problems.
Personally, you can meet and explain and get the solutions. One last question.
We'll be having a small round of meditation after this, so if we can conclude with this question.
Hello. So I'm asking this question because you're a radiation oncologist. So nowadays, to diagnose any disease, doctors are recommending a lot of CTs or MRIs. So just wanted to know, like, is there any recommended number of CTs or MRIs that a person can undergo in a duration? Because to diagnose a disease or to rule out any disease, CTs and MRIs are becoming very common and they can have a lot of impact in the future life of a patient. So is there any particular number? Like,
one CT scan is enough. You'll know everything. So one CT scan will not give you that much amount of radiation. Let me put it this way: the maximum tolerated dose of radiation for one whole year for you as an individual, 1 whole year is 10 CT scans. Will anyone on earth undergo 10 CT scans? That's the maximum. It's 10 millisieverts. So if you go beyond 10 millisieverts, वो तो होता नहीं. We never, and we don't require so many scans. किसी को भी उतना ज़रूरत नहीं है. That's not required. One scan is enough. It will tell you everything. Your next scan will be after many years later on. Preventive scan or a diagnostic scan. Scans, we don't do it so often. So that's like, and the radiation is, it's feared too much. Especially radiation to the patient for cancer is a different thing. But radiation to all of us, no. I mean, you're bombarded with cosmic rays every day, by the way. All of us get a little bit of radiation. And that's meaningless. That doesn't cause any cancer. It's got no stochastic effects. So one scan and that's it. Your answer is 10 CT scans per year. If that is the question you're asking. Once in 3 months at the max, or at the maximum scans you would do in clinical trials is 4. Beyond 4, no clinical trial, no ethics committee also will allow it.
I request Sister Anjali to be on the stage to conduct the meditation.
I only hope that all of you would come forward and start healing yourself. That's the first step. And any help you would all require from me, I'm sure I'll be available on Sundays, which of course the announcement and everything will be made later on.
Thank you very much, Dr. Raghu Raman garu. Such a wonderful session and inputs about holistic healing. So with this session and with this of information, more than information, it is a kind of understanding your body and emotions and how you can integrate all the things, integrating your emotions, integrating your energies, integrating your thoughts and the physical energy also, everything put together. You brought it a very nice way. Thank you for being here. And he himself offered for this kind of session, which is a very good thing. So we appreciate your presence and we appreciate your talk, and we really enjoyed it. Yes, lot of information. So thank you very much. And we'll announce his time here in Shanti Sarovar campus in future sessions so that you can meet him personally. Okay, so integrating all these things, as he said, integrating our physical body and the mind, our emotions, that is best medicine is meditation. So Raj Yogini Brahma Kumari Anjali sister is here, who is a senior Raj Yoga teacher, and since 30 years she has dedicated her life in Brahma Kumaris, and since childhood she is practicing meditation. So let we understand, let we experience the meditation experience. Anjali sister.
Om Shanti. So one of the ways of healing yourself is meditation, and if you see this word integration is coming again and again. And meditation in Hindi or Sanskrit, it is yog. Yog means integrating, plus karna, add on. So the right doctor, the right therapy, the right thing, that has to come to us. So when we go to the doctor also, we recommend do meditation so that he in his mind will get the right thing and he will be able to give us the right medicine also. Okay. So for a few moments, as doctor was telling, first of all, we will do some relaxation. Now when you are seated, just observe yourself. Are you relaxed physically? Your muscles, starting from the feet, are they relaxed? If not, just say to yourself, relax. calf muscles, thigh muscles. Relax. Your stomach muscles, because these are the areas you generally get the effect of the tension on the muscles is experienced. So relax. Don't hold on tightly to anything. The fingers of your hands, just see all of them are relaxed. Don't hold on, don't have a strong grip or something. Relaxed. Feel that muscles are relaxed. My finger muscles are relaxed. Now a very important area, my arms and my neck and shoulders. Relax. Come to the face muscles. Bring a smile on in your face and there will be relaxation. If there is a scorn, you will be more tensed. मुस्कुराहट. क्यों मुस्कुराना है? Because we heard something very nice. We met somebody very nice. We are seated in a very nice environment. So a natural smile on the face. Thanking God for the beautiful time we spent here. Look at your eyes, just watch your eyes, and you yourself make them feel bright. Brightness in your eyes. Your face also is lighted up. And the whole of your physical body is positively charged. Now in the head, experience lightness. Don't be tight. Attention does not mean being tight. A smiling face will help you to feel light inside. As light as a cloud in the sky. Enjoy this vision. Sometimes when you are high in the sky, in the plane, you see all clouds around you. Feel the lightness like that. How you enjoy the whole scene. Let's thank God for everything. Thank you for the beautiful nature, for the beautiful people, for the beautiful knowledge. And thank God. Let's chant Om thrice. All of us together. Om.
Thank you, Sister Anjali. It was indeed a very relaxing experience for all of us. I request all of you to join us next Sunday as well from 6:30 to 8 p.m. We'll be back with another refreshing Sunday evening talk, and we'll disclose you the topic very soon. Now I request Sister Vasanta and Sister Anjali to give a token of love and gratitude to our guest speaker. There is prasad for everybody downstairs. Please collect that before leaving. Thank you.